Oh, wow, the amount of technical difficulties. It's one thing to be able to write and record a song from scratch. Another thing entirely to be able to do so that all of you can join in. So here we go. Today, the song is Sent Ones. And the whole purpose of this song is to basically declare that we are the sent ones. Did you know that the word apostle means sent one? It means someone who is sent out into the world. That's a phone ringing. You don't want that to happen while you're recording. And we're sent to the nations to bring the good news of salvation, to bring the best news of all, that Jesus Christ loves you, that he died for you. He died for you because you're a sinner, and the only way to get to heaven is you must repent of those sins. You must be forgiven, and you must make him Lord. So every single song we do is filtered through that funnel. Everything we do is filtered through that. In this case, with Ascend, it's to encourage you to grow in that as disciples and go into the nations. So before we start recording, I just want to go over a few quick pointers for recording, okay? What we're going to do today is the song that Times created yesterday. The songs that Times created yesterday, I'm going to write something to, record something to today, and show you how I do it, okay? So first things first is, are you warmed up? Are you prayed up? That's the warming up too. So for me, when I sit in this chair, I take a deep breath. I give it to God. I talk to him. I listen. I seek him. I seek his face. I ask him to bless this recording. Praying doesn't mean that you always have to hold hands and sing Kumbaya. It doesn't mean that you have to spend a huge amount of time. I believe prayer, if we're to pray without ceasing, pray without stopping, that means pray continually. Have this attitude, this mindset of prayer. We good, Justin?
Check 1, 2.
Yeah, we're fine.
Justin's trying to figure out echo. Am I getting an echo?
No, your mic is not as hot as it usually is.
All right, my mic's, I'll talk into this mic then. Okay, here we go. So are you warmed up spiritually? A, are you warmed up? B, are you warmed up? So while I was sitting here adding different things, I was do that. Just go all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down. Humming is a very, very good way to warm up. And beyond that, is the song the right key for you? As you're singing, there's a few things you need to ask yourself. Is it the right tune? Are you in tune? Is it the right pitch? Is it the right take? Is it in time? That's pentameter. Are you changing my mic, Justin? Okay, just don't change number 2, please, because that one's all the way down. Is it the right time, the right take, the right pentameter, and ultimately, is it the album? And that's something that I can't really put in words, but does it sit in such a way where you're like, oh, that's the project, that's the CD, you know? And so when I'm recording Avion or somebody else, or myself, I have one ear off. Believe it or not, I record all the vocals right here. I don't have any sort of soundproofing besides a little bit of this, you know, stuff. There's no sort of sound design maybe to make the room kind of dead, sure, which is nice. Still working out technical difficulties. Sorry about all this. But I always have one ear off. And as Avion is singing, I'm not listening to what's going down on tape, as they would call it back in the day. I'm listening to what she's doing in the room. And I can hear a little, if I can hear that mouth noise. Oh, mouth noise is the Antichrist, let me tell you. Best way to solve that is some water. I like to sing in the studio with a stick of gum. I put it in my cheek. Sometimes I sing with it, sometimes I don't. On stage, I always do. Keeps me lubricated, but I'll probably take this one out right before. Okay, so make sure it's the right track. Make sure it's the right idea, that the hook is strong. Rework the hook. You'll hear me today even reworking things, trying to figure out what does work, what doesn't work. The song lyrics, when you're recording, they should be suggestions. I have a bunch of ideas here, and now I have to figure out what works and what doesn't. It may work when you're sitting at home working on something, but when you get to the studio, you got to feel it. It's got to feel right. Don't force it. No, this is what I practiced. Ask people, hey, I could go this or that. And then when you think you have the lyrics right, just kind of close your eyes and do whatever the spirit leads you to do. And chances are it will evolve once again. And as that happens, that's when the feel is right, because I can't tell you how many times I practiced something, delivered it just like that. And then when it came time to do the music video or the live performance, I just, for some reason, always did it different, because that wasn't the original rehearsed portion, wasn't what was natural. Okay. Looks like somebody's changing my volume. Hopefully that's helping you. All right. So another thing that you have to watch out for is, and
Check 1 2.
yeah, you're definitely raising my volume. This is going to be an interesting class to watch and listen to. Somebody turn off their phone, please. All right. So you have to watch out for pops. Anything that starts with a k, a g, or a b can have a potential of a plosives. And those on a condenser mic versus a dynamic mic are very, very, very different. So keep that. Sing with one ear off. Avoid mouth noise. Command S. Know that Jesus saves, and so should you, as I'm saving this. So you need to make sure that you're saving regularly, and when you do so, when you sing, use a pop screen. That's what this is. It's a little circular thing, and it basically has something like pantyhose. Now, when I record in third world nations, and they don't have one, I go and get some pantyhose. I get a coat hanger. I make a circle out of it. I put the pantyhose over it. I twist it around. After the circle, I wrap it around the mic stand. And I find the best mic that I can. And I work with what I have. Now, there's certain things that you absolutely just cannot, no matter what, in a million years, have go to tape when you're recording. The number one thing is distortion or clipping. It's when somebody's, when they're that loud, they clip, and there's no way to fix that without it sounding, well, distorted. Clipping is what they call it. So if you get into the red, watch out. One of the problems I had with this setup is that I brought the volume all the way down to 0 for today, but as we're recording and doing all these other things, for some weird reason, it's still almost clipping. So I have to watch out for that, okay? And then as you're recording, you'll see when I record Avion, if somebody doesn't have a lot of breath control, I like to record them doing one line at a time. And whenever you do one line at a time, don't do what so many rappers and people that I know do, is they just come in when they're supposed to be punched in. Never start singing when you're supposed to be punched in. Always sing early, at least half of a line before you're being punched in. Okay? Take a deep breath. And the reason why is because, let's say I'm saying, we are the sent ones to the whole of creation. So as I'm coming into the to the whole of creation, as I come into that, if I decided to punch in and I didn't sing the line before, I would be singing to the whole. I would be like, we are the sent ones to the whole. It would be like I would be too loud now for the second line. So and part of it also is you almost have to compress yourself. By compressing yourself, I mean like you need to gauge yourself. If you're singing really loud, maybe lean back a little bit, not too far back. If you're singing soft, lean in as you're singing on the mic. Okay, ration your breathing out slowly, and I like to think of it like you're compressing, yeah, just kind of filtering like a bagpipe. Okay, a bagpipe, whether it has that much air in it or that much air in it, still blows the same. And so I'm going to try and talk right now and bagpipe it so that I don't sound like this at the end. Okay, so here's a good example. Always sing the end of the line before the next line intro so that it sounds natural. Multiple takes is a good thing. What you want to do is you want to do 5 to 7 takes. Avion does 15 to 20. Whew, that was all one breath. You see what I just did? The 20 wasn't 20. So you have to ration your breathing in such a way so that it doesn't filter like this, but so that it ends strong. So multiple takes is a crucial thing. We call it comping, or making a composite of takes. And you're going to see us do that today. There are many times where every single time I start a song, I start with a scratch vocal. Okay. My rule with scratch vocal is once, never more. Because once you start doing more than one, you're not doing a scratch anymore. You're doing the final. And I like to wait until the end to do the final. So I'm listening to some really bad scratch vocals often. Sometimes a different person that's not even in the band is singing a scratch vocal. But when it comes time to doing the final vocal, 5 takes, maybe 7 for me, is what I do. And I've found that the last 3 takes, usually the last 2 are the best. And then I composite between those. Avion is an exacting perfectionist. Her voice is flawless and perfect. And because of that, well, and her pitch is even more perfect. Because of that, she'll take 15, 20, sometimes more takes to get it to where she's very, very, very happy. I guess what I'm trying to say is this: care about the quality. Okay? But at the end of the day, you have to keep it real. And it still has to sound authentic. It still has to sound honest. Okay? Now, you may be saying 15, 20 takes. That's stupid. That's a waste of my time. That is ridiculous. Okay, so here's my analogy. Okay, so imagine if you're a singer, right? You're pretty good. And your child's little league baseball coach asks you for a recording of the national anthem for a pickup game, a small game, okay? So you're just going to record the national anthem for a little kid's baseball game. 20 parents are going to be there. They're going to stand up, put their hand on their heart, and you have to record it, okay? How would you pre-record it? You'd keep it real. It'd be good, but would it be flawless? Would it be perfect? How much time would you spend on it? I don't know. Now imagine if that call wasn't your child's baseball coach, but that call was the Olympic Committee, and they wanted to play the same song every single time an American athlete won a medal, right? Imagine that. Every time an American won gold, silver, or bronze, your song was being played. Would you spend more time on it? It was broadcast on every network in the world. Would you spend more time on it? Every American is hearing you sing. Would you care more? How much more should you care now that you're singing for not a baseball team, but for a king, for not just a king, but the king of all kings? Are you still going to limit your quality to one take? Now, if that one take is flawless, some people like Jenna Man Justin, when we recorded Jenna, man, I would have him do 5 takes, and I couldn't tell the difference between any of them. I would comp, couldn't tell the difference between any of them. Right, bro?
Yeah.
It was just, it was insane how consistent he was. All right, that mic is a little too noisy. We're dealing with mic noise today, and that's what this whole class is about. Okay, so would you get, if you were to do it for the Olympic Committee, would you get vocal training? Would you do warm-ups? Would you get produced by someone who knows what they're doing to get your absolute best and make it the absolute best? And that's why God asks us, hey, go and get me bananas. There's a new one and an old one. That's why God asks, get both. That's why God asks us to bring our absolute best. It's interesting that today I'm talking about producing. And when God talks about first fruits, he's talking about produce, what you produce, what your output is, okay? So it could be the tomatoes that we're growing in my backyard right now. But what are you producing? Are you giving God first fruits, or are you giving him rotten leftovers? And this is one of the reasons why the studio is so dangerous, because if you're paying per hour, you're thinking per minute how much this is costing. And with that, sometimes you don't spend enough time doing it right. So do it with excellence. Never ever say these words, I'll fix it in the mix. Oh, delivery. So I love to give analogies. I taught you, are you going to give God this? Or this? Who wants to eat this? Oh my gosh, that thing is just wrong. It's not even good for banana bread anymore. So which one are you going to give? The best or the leftovers? I strongly suggest that you give him the best. God wants your first fruits, not your rotten leftovers, not your ripe, your runts, your I don't care. So never fix it in the mix. Don't try and erase when you're editing at the very end, S's. Don't, be careful not to erase those. We've done that too many times. And today we're going to show you a few other things with that in mind. I'm going to get started. Still, is Abby on here? Nope. And be prepared for your artists to be late, even when you tell them to be an hour early. That, if you're dealing with Caribbean music, is a reality. And then, of course, they say, I have a child, and I fully respect that. Okay, so here we go. This is the song that Times finished yesterday. He sent it to us this morning, and now I am in charge of laying down vocals. I'm gonna... Okay, so it's sent ones. That's what it's called. Here we go. 3 is record. We are the sent ones to the whole of creation. Yes, we are the sent ones to every nation, to tell them about Jah, tell the human race, yeah. Tell them about Jesus, his love and his grace. All right, so I'm recording right now. I'm hearing everything going on in the room, which means that I'm hearing different things. So Justin, try not to type while I'm recording, and because I'm hearing that. I have one ear off, and as you notice, I'm keeping a good distance now. Now, with the microphone, you basically want your mouth hitting the center of it, and you got to do this, snap on the front, snap on the back. Here's the thing. Some mics have little buttons on them, and with these buttons will allow you to record in a different pattern. Some look like a figure 8, different things like that. You basically want to make sure that you find that sweet spot and you're in that sweet spot, okay? So this is how I record vocals. I literally do that. This thing just keeps wanting to move, doesn't it? Okay, here we go. And I'm going to do that a few more times now. Here we go. So these are the takes that I'm going to be doing are going to be here. You're going to see it recording. And I always like to give myself a pre-roll, just enough pre-roll. Now, one thing you want to ask yourself as you're being produced is how much pre-roll. Can you give me a little more pre-roll? It's a common thing. Saving, and here we go. Taking the gum out. We are the sent ones to the whole of creation. Yes, we are the sent ones to every nation to tell them about Jah. Tell the human race, yeah. Tell them about Jesus, his love and his grace. Now, what I'm trying to sing from most importantly is my diaphragm right here. If you make it hard, you know, from your core. And as I'm doing that, I'm not just trying to sing from there. I'm trying to sing from my soul. I'm trying to sing from my heart. One thing we say a lot, there's a gazebo out in my parents' backyard, is sing to the gazebo. In this case, sing to God. He's up in heaven, so you want to make sure you sing loud, you sing proud, you sing far, you sing like you're going to sing on stage. Don't sing. Some people get scared in front of a mic. One thing that I like about recording is to not be, not have a bunch of prying eyes looking at me. Which is the opposite of what's happening right now. So in this case, like every time I start recording, Justin just leaves the room. I never asked him to, but it creates this safe environment. Reminds me of a story that I probably should never tell, but I'm going to anyways. The guy who used to sing with us, we called him Sven. You can guess what his real name is. He always sang in the booth, which was in a different room with the closed doors. Nobody could see him in his underwear, but honestly, he was wearing less than that. And so imagine him singing Inside Burning or something, literally just like King David. It's a horrible thing to imagine, but that's what he was doing. And that is something that is a metaphor that I don't want you to actually do in the studio, but there's something about being just you and God naked before him. I'm not going to do that today, and I would not recommend you do that in the studio, but the heart of it, I understand. Another take. We're on number 3. We are the sent ones to the whole of creation. Yes, we are the sent ones to every nation to tell them about Jah. Tell the human race, yeah. Tell them about Jesus, his love and his grace. Whoa. So at this point, when you start doing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you want to start kind of ad-libbing. I added a woy at the end. If you heard at the very beginning, I kind of chirped a little bit. My voice will get worse as I'm doing this. This is right outside of my range. I mean, just right in there. It's but sometimes you have this more plaintive sound when you're in the higher register. If I was singing, we are the sent ones to the whole of creation, I could do it, but does it have that passion? Does it have that heart cry, that soul cry? I just like that outcrying from the soul, and something about the higher range will do that. Don't ever do every one of your songs in the same key. Stretch yourself. We are the sent ones to the whole of creation. Yes, we are the sent ones to every nation to tell them about Jah. Tell him of his grace. Tell them about Jesus, his love and his grace. Boy, so you notice I made 2 mistakes in there. I did a little chirp on that, and then when I came into the second part, I said, tell him of his grace, and I was supposed to say, tell the human race. Again, when you make a mistake, just keep singing. Fix the rest of it. You never know. The rest could be the best take. Saving. This is usually where I kind of, hopefully, will be better. We are the sent ones to the whole of creation. Yes, we are the sent ones to every Haitian to tell them about Jaja. Tell them up. Yeah, that time I'm just not going to do it. I'm just going to undo that one. Here we go. Sometimes it's just that bad. We are the sent ones to every nation. Yes, we are the sent ones to the whole of creation to tell them about Jaja. Tell the human race, boy. Tell them about Jesus, his love and his grace. Oh. All right, mess up the first one again. Sometimes. Here we go. We are the sent ones to the whole of creation. Yes, we are the sent ones to every nation to tell them about Jaja. Tell the human race, boy. Tell them about Jesus, his love and his grace. Yeah. One more take. I felt like that was a better one. I don't know. The first one could be better. A lot of times you swear the first one's going to be better, but then you realize you're off key. Sometimes. Here we go. We are this. And breath control. Didn't take a breath quick enough. I need to take a breath long enough before I went, we are. No, you got to take a breath before, which is why pre-roll's good. Sometimes. We are the sent one. Nope. We are was off. We are the sent one. Nope. See, that's the crap that happens. This is what it's like to record. We are the sent ones to the whole of creation. Yes, we are the sent ones to every nation to tell them about Jaja. Tell the human race, boy. Tell them about Jesus, his love and his grace. Yeah. Okay, so there you have it. There are other parts that I've written for this song. For instance, we are God sent to people of every accent, every culture and creed and race. We are the God sent on every single continent, no matter about the color or their face, or something to that extent. Of course, that's going to change as I continue to do it. Other options are, I'll pull this over to here so you can see. Preach the gospel to all creation. Preach the good news with no hesitation. Across the sea in every tribe and every land, yes. Preach the good news of salvation. I said they bring this message out to every nation, yeah. Preach this gospel to so the weak are strong. I don't even know what I'm singing. Preach them, we teach them, come what may. I don't know. with these choose from the one Yahweh. So these are some of the ideas that I have. Sent by God to bring them hold from Zion, sent to earth to see the weak turn strong, or weak turn strong, one of those two. Sent by God to bring them salvation, yes. Sent by the one, yes. Sent by the Son. So you can see how those are different dynamics, and then we go from there. Sent by this, we are descent. You see how I'm basically taking two different plateaus and dun da 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 dee da 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 dee do do do. Da 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 dee dee da da do 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 da 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 dee da da dee da 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 dee da 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 dee da da dee ba da da dee da 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 da. Ba-da-da-da-da. You hear the dynamics. So those basically the whole song. Come on in, baby. The whole song is the same chords, but did I just sing the same melody? No. Essentially, your vocal melody should be so strong that Kenny G could play it and it wouldn't suck. Actually, I think that anything Kenny G plays sucks. Ooh, Justin said, I don't like the elevator music. But what I'm trying to say is that if an instrument, any instrument on our songs is played, it should then, well, if you solo it by itself, it should sound good. And in this case, I believe that with the kind of roller coaster the vocals are doing, hopefully they will do that. They will be good. Okay, so that is how I would track myself. Let me show you how I would then comp it. I feel like the take before was better. I'm going to take that. I'm going to drag that down, put that on top. I'm going to pull this up. And now there's two ways to comp. All right, you ready? We'll do the easy way, and then we'll do the hard way. This is the easy way. We are the sent ones. So right here, the we are the, I'm not a huge fan of. Let's hear let's hear this one. Saving. We are the sent ones. Not it. Oh, you know what? I think that there's a, what key is this song, Justin? D. Okay, D.
This is an Avion key.
It's a good Avion key. Okay, so D. So then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take, can I?
Freedom step is in this key too.
Freedom step is in this key, okay.
So you could do it.
Oh, I know I can do it. Anybody can do any key. It's just falsetto or, you know, obviously a little too low is one thing, but I'm creating more space here for my thing to do a little tuning here. Okay, so I'm double clicking on this tuning. Okay, this one, that's the problem right there. It's okay. So the root should be D, not D sharp, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to right now. I'm going to turn this guy off. So there's two types of tuning we use, and tuning is your best friend. I think everything needs to be tuned. My wife, she has the best pitch of anybody that I know, and she still insists on tuning and does so rightly because it always sounds better. Okay, so D, so this is D. You have headphones, baby?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so it's a little hot in here. Okay, so I have this set to D. I have two tuners up. This is the real time. I'm using Wave's real time tune right here. And then I have it on D, and it'll tell you what notes I'm playing. Check it out. We are the sent ones to the whole of creation. Yes, we are the sent ones to every nation to tell them about Jah. So you get the idea? Okay. So I'm gonna do a quick comp of this. So this, Avi, will you just tell me what you prefer, okay?
We are descent.
For the We ID, that one or this one?
We are descent.
First one's better. Okay. Tell me how this one is. Oh, sorry, I have to turn this thing off. It's on. I think it's that one. Let's see here. So this one.
We are descent.
Versus this.
We are descent.
That's better, right?
No,
First is better. Okay, so you can see, you can kind of go back and forth with all these and figure out what works, but she likes this one.
We are the sent ones, to the whole of creation. Yes, we are the sent ones.
I feel like that right there. Yes, we are the, I'm not vibing with that, so I'm going to replace it.
Yes, we are the sent ones,
I feel like that whole part right there, it's on auto. It's going back to jumping back, which is a great thing when you are recording because you just want to do multiple takes. But now,
yes, we are this.
So I'm going to basically make a little snip here, and I'm going to make a little snip right here, and I'm going to figure out which one is the best now. Oh, whoops, wrong place to snip, and here we go. So this is the easy way to comp.
Yes, we are the sent ones.
Versus.
Yes, we are the sent ones.
No, the yes was off key.
Yes, we are the sent ones.
Better, right, Abby? Let's see what the one under it is. I can always undo.
Yes, we are the sent ones.
Which was better, that one or the one before? Before. Okay, so I'm gonna undo. So that's like a quick way of editing if you don't really care. Got it? So I'm gonna, for the circumstance today, I'm not going to edit this the way that I normally would edit, which is, I'll show you what I do with Avion for that, okay? And here we go. So
yes, we are the sent ones. To ever.
okay, so here we go. Okay, so this is what I have here. This is a rough sketch of my version. Let's get Avion to do something now. And actually, let me show you what real quick what I can do next for this portion. And this is a different kind of tuning. This is waves tune now. And here we go. So I'm going to put this waves tune in, and I'm going to now select all, clear selection.
We are the sent ones, to the whole of creation. Yes, we are the sent ones, to every nation, to talent.
Okay, I won't go any further than that for right now. Okay, there's a few things that it may not have sounded bad to you. There's certain things I don't like about it that I will definitely replace when I do the comp, but there's some distortion right around here.
To the whole of creation.
That is definitely distorted there. So let me see if I can't just find a better one. That's better. It sounding a little crackalicious, but there is a record pop sound in this song that I wouldn't personally record to, but it is what it is. For now, let me just clear that off. Since I just officially changed this guy, I'm gonna select all, clear selection. I'm gonna go to the top again. Now this is the real-time one is awesome, but it's not perfect. This one will make it perfect.
We are the sent ones, to the whole of creation. Yes, we are the sent ones, to every nation, to talent.
Okay, so you see that? So now we have this. this one breath I got to get rid of. It's just obnoxious, to say the least. So I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to do that. I always crossfade. I love to crossfade. And now let's hear that. I think there's another breath like that. Sometimes breaths are good, sometimes they're not. In this case, I'm going to clean that off also. I prefer delay to be there. I don't cut it completely, but I leave a little something there like that. Now that S sometimes looks a lot like a breath. That's why I said don't ever cut off your S's. Okay, so now Avian and I are going to go in and we're just going to make sure that these notes are right. And I think the yellow is what I was naturally what it was doing, and the green is the new one.
We are the central.
And so this, I'm kind of going into it. So we are. I don't know if I need that. If I need that at the front or not. What do you think, Abby? This is.
We are the central.
Is it good so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We are the sent ones.
Send this. Okay. Okay, so that is supposed to be there. Let's see where it is.
We are the sent ones.
So this, see what I'm doing? I'm doing this major vibrato. This is what vibrato looks like. It's also, it's not just ha, 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 ha. It's sometimes it's up and down and up and down. Now let's see. I'm supposed to be there. So I'm going way lower than that. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put on the pencil tool. I'm going to save first. I'm supposed to be here. One. By the way, every one of these, send. These are all supposed to be on key. They may sound good to you. Let's see how they sound now. Now, if I could do it straight flat, but you don't want to do flat. You want it to have that body like that, the same vibrato that I had, but stay in key. Let's see how that sounds.
We are the sent ones.
That sound better to you, Abby?
Wave it a little more.
We are the sent.
Wave it more. Okay, waving it a little bit more.
Sent ones.
Does it work for you?
We are the sent ones.
Something.
Scent, maybe. I'm thinking.
Not the scent.
I was thinking scent was in.
We are the sent ones.
Is that better?
I think it's the beginning of the ones. It's kind of straight. Maybe that's what it is.
This guy right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there's, what is that on the bottom?
It's going all the way across. It shouldn't be there. I think that's what we need.
We are the sent ones.
Does that work for you?
Mm-hmm.
I think this one shouldn't be there as well. I think I'm a little high there at the top of it. So you want it to be natural, but you also want it to be on key.
We are the sent ones.
So send. I think this one, if I do this, and then even it out a little bit. Let's see where that sounds.
We are the sent ones.
Good for you, Abby?
Yeah.
And I'm going to do the same. This guy's a little, I'm going to do right across the line where it's supposed to be. Now, if I played you just that, listen to it.
Sent ones.
It doesn't sound horrible, but it doesn't sound natural either. So once I can find it, there it is. I'm going to add that vibrato back in, but keep it within the constraints of that note. And here we go.
The sent ones. To the whole of creation. Yeah.
Is that good for you?
Mm-hmm.
Gonna do the same here. It's a little out of the range there, and let's hear that.
Sent ones. To the whole of creation. Yes, we are the.
Work for you?
Are the sent ones.
That one's off. At the front of it. And let's do that for this. Same thing again with this. Bring this across. So if you can see, this is the part of music that I hate. We're about ready to get into it, but it's a necessary evil because everything on TV that you see, every one of those shows, it's all tuned. And so when it's tuned, that means your ears, people's ears more and more are tuned to perfection. And when they're tuned to perfection, oh man, if you listen to some of our old albums that haven't been tuned, that weren't tuned, when did we start tuning? Like 3 albums ago? The difference is ridiculous.
Yes, we are the sent one.
So, yes. So you see how all of a sudden you realize, holy crud, these notes are all supposed to be on key. So this little thing where I go from there to there, that dip is not supposed to be there. And so that's the kind of thing I'm basically redrawing this to kind of make it sound a little more perfect.
Creation. Yes, we are the sent ones to every nation.
So that's what Avian, oh, that's too high. This is what Avian and I will do for hours and hours on end to try and get a song to just feel right. And just as much time will we spend on her voice, which is perfect, as we will on mine, which is far from perfect. So just little things like that make a difference. And this is what in certain top pop producers have been known to do 72 takes for Mariah Carey or 100 takes for a top song by one of those blonde singers. I mean, it's ridiculous what they do in order to get the best composite.
Sent ones to every nation.
I think I'm good with that. The only thing I feel like this guy is high. This one should be right. Oh, sorry, that's. Should it be there? That's where it should be, right? Sometimes with chatting, there's a lot of grace that you shouldn't be taking.
Yes, we are the sent ones to every nation.
I feel like the shun is not vibratoed enough. So so I'm like, you don't know that that's supposed to be a. So yeah, again, these are all things that we do. And moving on. Okay, so I'm good with that for now. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this, I'm going to save, I'm going to now go in and, where is this? Why did this not? Come on. That time when you are trying to remember where exactly you are at in the song. Okay, so I'm going to, in this case, have this part. This part right here, I'm going to save this for another time, and I'm going to cut that and paste that down here, and I'm going to not play that. Okay, now we're going to show you what and how we do. Oh, that did not paste. No, okay, undo, and I'm going to take this off and cut and paste. There we go. Okay, so now I'm basically have that one muted. Now I can get in. I'm gonna try having Avion sing that part. Okay, so Avi, could you listen to this, write it out if you need to? Tell them about He's love on his grace. Yeah. One more thing, Grace. Okay. I'm sending it to you right now.
Oh, okay.
Jaja. And then you're going to say, tell the human race, tell the human race, tell them about Jesus, his love and his grace. Okay, I've just sent that to you. Okay, so let's start with that, and then we'll get into harmonies, which will be my most favorite part of this. So here we go. I'm going to loop it for you just so that you can hear it.
To tell them about Cha-Cha, tell the human race, boy, tell them about Jesus, his love and his grace, yeah.
Can you hear it again? Or you got it? Okay, here we go. Okay, my wife has not been recorded. Here we go. We're going to put her on here and put you up top. And I'm going to give you this much pre-roll. This is it. Pre-roll is a good thing. Gets her, and she's going to have to bring the mic down now because it is too high for her.
I never had a luck with this thing.
Okay, you got it. You got it. I got it. I got it. You got
Now
it.
I got it.
Do that. And then everybody should know how to do their own mic if they need to.
Make this lower, yeah.
That should be all right. I sometimes prefer for the vocalists to be aiming up a little bit at the mic versus down. I think down does not quite. Singing high is always better than chin down. All right, I'm going to change the view so that you guys can see her singing. Here we go. Okay.
To every nation,
To tell him about Cha-Cha. Again. Sorry. To tell them about Cha-Cha.
Apple Z or Command Z is a good thing if you're not going to use the takes so that it doesn't clog up your system.
to every nation,
To tell them about Cha-Cha. Tell the human race. Tell them about Jesus, his love and his grace.
Can I get a kiss? Love you. Such a sweet voice. That is. I sound like Gargamel and she sounds like Smurfette. Here we go.
to every
Saving, recording.
nation,
To tell them about Cha-Cha. Tell the human race. Tell them about Jesus, his love and his grace.
I love that little lilt. I love that. That's Avion right there. By the way, guys, you're not an Olympiad. Don't try and do vocal gymnastics if you don't have to. Be yourself, man. I mean, 16 notes for one syllable. Come on, guys. I blame television for that.
every nation,
To tell them about Cha-Cha. Tell the human race. Tell them about Jesus, his love and his grace.
Sound beautiful. Now, you may be saying just like
Tell them about
just like Chiago, our co-producer, dude, the first one was perfect. Why are you doing more takes? If you notice, she's getting better. She's correcting, she's producing herself. And one thing like I said earlier, I always have one ear off. So I have one ear off. I'm listening to her. So I'm listening for those plosives, the mouth noise. And I'm also listening for Justin to flush the toilet or to open the door or to make noises while typing or for Ziza to be knocking or do this or that, because when I hear that stuff, the stomping, the foot stomp, when I hear that, I know it could be ruining the tape. You all right there?
Yeah, we need to move her more towards you.
More towards me. Okay.
So
All right.
they can see both of you.
So they can see both. Just don't let that change her position on the mic, because there we go. Yeah, there is not a lot of light on her, and there's nothing we can do about that with all the doors open. Here we go. By the way, we never record in the day. We always record at night. Morning is not a good time to record your voice. It's just not ideal. For us, we're musicians. This is the morning.
To tell them about Jack again. Sorry.
Yeah, some
Mouth
noise,
noise.
there. Mouth noise.
To tell them about Jack. Tell the human race. Tell them about Jesus, His love and His grace. I'm telling them about Jesus. Something is not right. Tell them about Jesus. Am I doing the timing right?
Tell them about Jesus. I like that. Yeah.
Tell them about Jesus.
Well, you want to hear what we got going on?
No.
No. Okay. Well, let's hear the tell.
Tell them about Jesus. See,
I love
it. No, it's not right.
Okay, fix it. Do you know what to do?
Yeah. To tell them about Jack. Tell the human race. Tell them about Jesus, His love and His grace.
Best one yet. 2 more takes.
To tell them about Jack. Tell the human race. Tell them about Jesus, His love and His grace.
One more.
To tell them about Jack.
You hear that? That was ultimate mouth noise right there.
To tell them about Jack. Tell the human race. Tell them about Jesus, His love and His grace.
I feel like the one before was the better of them. They're all good though. They're all fantastic. So what we're going to do now is we're going to duplicate these tracks, and I'm going to highlight all Apple A, or Command A. Anytime I say Apple, it means Command. And I'm going to take this. Well, before I do that, I'm going to go and duplicate this track now. I have 2 tracks. You happy, Avi? At this point, Avi would usually say 1 more, and that 1 more usually ends up being 5 more. You happy, Avi?
Sure.
That's just her being conscientious of your time, not just our time. She'll probably want to re-record it in another time. That is why her album is so incredible. Oh my gosh. You got to hear the new album. And the only way you can do it right now, right here at this moment, well, is to donate to Christafari. You go to christafari.com/donate. And then at that point, once you donate even $1, but please consider donating more than that. Once you do that, you will then get an email, and that email will include the free download for the entire album. Okay, so what am I doing as I'm telling you all this? I just duplicated the track. I got rid of what was under it, and now I made each one of the tracks below a different color. There are different ways to do this kind of comping. I go by color. I've also been known to go by number, but my wife is very visual. Very visual. So this top track right up here, I'm going to make it pink when she's done, just so that we know. This top track is where we're going to put the final vocal. Okay. I have no tuning on this whatsoever. Every one of these tracks has the same exact effects. I've cleaned out the beginning and the end. I've have them in different colors so she can easily say, oh, I like the pink one better. Now I go into this section and I play it. I'm going to not play them all at once. It will sound like a cacophony of cats trying to get out of a bag. Here we go. And I'm going to put on, for in this case, I'm going to, sorry, not used to doing it so that every one of you guys can see the screen. Okay, so in this case, watch what I do. You may say, man, this is tedious, but this is what every one of our albums, this is why our albums take so long. But imagine we do so many of these in a year. I do scissors now and the beginning. So I'm gonna make ja ja separate. She would normally say make to tell. Sake of time, I'm breaking this up. We at the end of it all we'll have what we call a Frankentake, okay? Yeah, it won't sound like a Frankentake if we do it right. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna do this as quick as possible. You ready, Abby? Mm-hmm. Attention, Justin, you vote too. And I'm gonna bring this up. Actually, I'm gonna switch it so the top one is there so I could see that. And here we go. And switch it so that the bottom one is a sequence. Oops, did the wrong thing there. And okay, here we go. Sorry, guys. You'd think I'd know what I'm doing by now. Here we go. This is red, okay? Red. Versus, yeah, orange. I like red better. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yellow versus green. Green better? Yeah. Okay. Blue versus purple. Neither. Okay. I would say blue, but she says neither. The first one is almost never listened to because she's not warmed up, but we'll listen to it anyways. Versus second better. Okay, and then we're down to 2. Versus first. Okay, so did you see what just happened there? It was the 4th take, not the 7th, not the 1st. Will it be the 4th take after this? And I think we all can agree that in this case, now see what I'm doing? I'm doing cleanup as we go. I'm getting this guy cross faded and everything. I'm getting him ready. I'm going to make this larger so you guys can see this screen better. Sorry about this. Again, not used to doing this for the nations. Okay, so now I'm going to make this guy start here and versus first one, right? Yeah. Okay. Like that. First one? You like the second? Maybe. Okay, let's compromise. Let's do this. Like that. Timing. Timing. Versus. Which do you like best?
Green.
Green? Okay, Justin, which jaw do you like best? Two. Okay, I'm gonna go with this then all around. What I'm doing is as I'm moving something up and down, whoops, is you click on it, hold down shift, you click on the other one, and then when holding down shift and you drag up, it will then work. It won't move it to the right or to the left a little bit. Never want it to move. And with DP, you can just do that. Now, remember, if this was an S at the end, I would be very cautious of my crossfades, okay? So in this case, I have this. I'm going to move this guy over to here and... Okay, we're listening to Tell the Human, okay? versus second. Okay. By the way, guys, in this, reason why I'm listening to the end of the other one is I want to make sure that I have a continuity between the two. They sound like they're sisters. They sound like the same take. Versus. Which do you prefer, Abby? First, yeah. First was stronger. Second one was softer. Versus. And just go with the orange?
Yeah.
Let's just go with the orange. Okay. Saving time. And in this case, we are going with the 7th take or the 6th take. Okay. So now here's the real challenge. How are we going to get this guy to match another one? Well, it may. You'll see. Or you like the first? First is a little longer.
Yes.
Or I prefer the longer one again. Let's try one of these longer ones. Let's see if any of these ones down here. First I like your swoop going down. So we have these two to choose from. Or second. Okay. So it's a different one. So now how do I get this to work? I click on the top. I click control. I pull down. And then I find that sweet spot where it's right at the beginning of the line. And then I do a crossfade. Crossfades are my best friend right there. Actually, my wife, my keyboardist, my daughter, and my iguana are my best friend. But let's hear this. This is what we've got.
To tell them about Cha-Cha.
You good with that, Abby? Okay, so we're not going to do the rest of it. In this case, we're going to go with, let's say, orange for the rest, just because we don't have time to do the rest right now in front of you. You can, now this is us doing the quick version. Imagine the slow one.
Tell them about Jesus, His love and His grace.
I'm good with that. Are you good with that, Abby, for now? Okay, so I'm going to do a little crossfading here and there. Now this is a breath, so I'm getting rid of the breath, and I'm fading before and after. And I want you to get your questions ready as we show you.
Ready.
Oh, they're ready. Okay, great. Okay, so we've got that now, right? So this is the comped, the roughly comped version of what we do. Now let's get into the fun part. You ready? Here we go. I'm going to duplicate these tracks again, and don't know why people want to keep calling me while I'm in an Ascend class. People from all over the world. Okay, duplicating tracks. Okay, so now I've got 4 tracks. I'm going to go 6. I like to do 6 with Avion because, well, 8 usually, because it gives me the freedom to really get creative. Okay, so I'm going to do even more than that, actually. So here we go. I'm going to do the same with me. In this case, I'm going to put it right here. Now I'm going to do one more track of 2. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to show you a few tricks. These are CHRISTAFARI tricks here. This is what we do. First one is going to be double. Okay, you ready? And triple. I'm going to do me first, and here we go. So this is my go-to right here.
We are the sent ones to the whole of creation.
Okay, I'm recording.
We are the sent ones to the whole of creation.
That stuff happens when you're not warmed up. Here we go. Woo! Yeah, this is what we call honest.
We are the sent ones
Save.
to to the whole of creation.
Nope, not there yet.
We are the sent
Undo.
ones, sent ones to the whole of creation. Yes,
Not it.
we are the sent ones to the whole of creation.
Still not there.
We are the sent ones to the whole of creation. Yes,
That'll work for
we
now.
are the sent ones to the whole of creation. Yes,
Double that. That's doubled now. Let's try this.
yes, we are the sent ones to every nation.
Not quite.
To every nation.
I'm recording on the wrong track. Forgive me. Just plowing over. You guys are probably catching that already. Recording on the wrong track. In this case, this should be here, and this should be there, and these should be there, and this should be there, and these should be there. I'm crossfading, and I'm going to pan them in just a second, and going to get a better starting spot.
Sent ones to every nation. Sent ones
I was not recording. Come on.
sent ones to every nation.
Not it.
Sent ones to every nation.
That'll work for now.
Sent ones to every nation.
They don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be flawless, and here's why. They're put in there to build the strength of what I'm saying. And so now as I zoom into that, you'll see that I have cut out the beginnings and I crop out the breaths. I function or control F. I'm using Digital Performer. You can also use Digital Performer Lite. Control F, I do that. And now watch what I do here with these guys. These are supposed to be left and right. I don't know if you are hearing me, but I should be in both ears now. Here we go with both of those. I don't know what they're going to sound like. I usually audition before I mix, but sorry, my bad. I did not have it in. And here we go.
To the whole of creation. Yes, we are the sent ones to every nation. To tell them about Jack.
So what I've got there is I've got myself doubled in the left,
Every nation.
myself doubled in the right,
Every nation.
hard panned for each, and then I would then do a quick pass on tuning. Okay, so now that's my double. Some people do the entire verse, the entire chat, the entire everything doubled. I don't like to do that. Okay, so here we go. Moving on to, let's get Avion's harmonies, okay? Let's do Avion, you ready? Let's try send one. So you're gonna double me first, okay?
Okay.
And this is going to be, I'm just gonna call it one. This is, one is the root, okay? Now, in this case, I'm going to color code these as well, just because I like to know what I'm dealing with color-wise, okay? And here we go.
The whole of creation.
Sorry, I'm gonna get, now I'm gonna do a one pass, Avi. We're gonna audition, and if you get them both right, we'll have our doubles right there, okay?
Sent one.
Send one.
Sent one. Sent one.
I'm
Okay,
recording on the wrong track.
and are you able to take out? Let's do it again. Sorry.
It is so annoying what we're hearing. You hear that
Yeah.
latency? You gotta have one ear off. You gotta really focus on the track itself. I'll turn the master up a little bit, but
Sorry,
it's
guys.
killing me. It's
Just
killing me.
We are the sent ones. Sent ones.
No.
We are the sent ones. Sent ones. To the whole of creation. Yes, we are the sent ones. Sent ones.
So that's just my voice in there only. So-
I'm in there right now.
Okay, can you take it out?
Okay, take
Yeah.
me out.
Yeah. Okay, sometime tonight.
Here we go. You gotta imagine me singing.
Oh, okay.
Sent one.
Sent ones.
All of creation.
Sent ones.
You good with those two?
Mm-hmm. Sent ones.
Let's get that first one.
Sent ones.
All of creation.
Sent ones.
If you notice, I have the click going on, and the click will then give us an indication as to what's going on now. I have these two guys, and hopefully they're good. We'll see. This is her left and right, and go ahead. Let's do the 3 now. It's a chord is 1, 3, 5. In this case, we're going to do the 3. We're going to try and get her to go higher some way, somehow. It's already pretty high. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Here we go. Got it?
Sent ones. No. Sent ones.
All of creation.
Sent ones.
You good with those two or not?
The second one probably could work. Sent ones. No.
Okay. That was the first one. Auditioning by itself is always a good thing as well, guys, to make sure that you really know what you're hearing. Okay, I'm going to put the second guy where he should be and mute him. She doesn't like to hear what she's doubling. Here we go. Take a drink. Make sure you hydrate. Undo, undo.
Sent ones.
All
Sent ones.
of creation.
Sent ones.
Which of those was best for you?
First, probably.
Okay. Okay, let's copy that and move that over. And can you do one higher? Or do we need to get Ziza to do that one?
Which one?
I can't do it. Yeah, let's try it. No? You want to try and get Ziza?
Falsetto.
Can we get Ziza in here urgently?
Yep.
Go ahead and move that thing over.
Oh, she's got to stand on it now.
Uh-huh. This is going to be interesting.
Oh.
In the meantime, I want to tell you a few things. So as we're doing this, we talked about doubles, or in this case, triples, where I do a double and then a triple, hard left, hard right. How we track harmonies, you can see right now, we're already doing it. We're doing the 1 left and right, the 2, the 3 left and right, the 5 left and right, and sometimes even a higher octave. In this case, where's the melodica? Hand me the melodica, please, somebody.
Oh, she's a.
Over there.
And melodica is always good as some sort of reference. A guitarist may have a guitar. Just make sure that the guitar is in key.
Okay. You're gonna start with this. Just say,
Is that what it is? What is? Okay. Okay, these are you're gonna need headphones, and
That's basically.
might want to take
okay,
one
I'm gonna take out the double.
Is it
Ziza, you're so cute. Love you, baby.
I do.
Okay, don't be scared of the mic. Okay. Okay, so.
All of creation.
I feel like it's a little too breathy. can you sing a little more from here and not so? Very good. Not so much from your throat. Yeah, bring her closer. Just bring the box a little closer. Lift her up. And there we go.
There we go.
The most precious thing in the world. Here we go.
Sent one. All of creation.
Not so breathy at the front of the scent.
Sent one.
That was better. We're getting better. Let's go again.
Sent one.
Watch the pitch of the scent.
We are the sent one.
How's she doing, Abby? Correct her, guide her. I think you're sounding fantastic. Now we're just looking for the one that's going to fit perfectly with mommy, okay?
Sent one. All of creation. The sent one.
That was the one. Double that.
Sent one. All of creation. Yes, we are the sent one.
What do you think, Abby? The take before the last one was really good. This one? Do we have?
There was 1, 3 down, about 3 before. I really like.
Let's go again.
Sent one.
Sing it for her, Abby. Here we go.
Sent one. All of creation. Sent one.
That one is great, right?
Yeah.
The one before, Okay, let's try these two. And again, I'm holding down shift when I'm doing it. I think we have what we need, Aziza. Great job, baby. So proud of you.
Good job.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so now what I'm going to do with this is I now have all of these. Look, I'm going to uniformly, I'm going to highlight, and I'm going to highlight, and I'm going to basically crop them at the beginning and the ends, and then I'm going to do this, and now I pretty much have just cut off the beginning of these guys. I don't want to do that. So I want to do that. Okay, here we go. Now that I have all these, I'm going to do a major fade across all of them. And let's see what we got here. She's going to be, this is going to be, I'm going to call this Z and Z. And then we'll get Abby doing a quick harmony on the other part, and we'll open it up for questions. Here we go. This is supposed to be there, and yeah, keep yourself warmed up there, baby. By the way, don't go that's the worst thing you can do for your voice. Try to or if you have to, when you're doing any sort of vocals, because the more you clear your throat, the more gravelicious it is. When I used to sing like the Cookie Monster, aka trying to sound like Buju, it messed up my voice. Okay, so here we go. So that's a rough sketch. Now, when I'm mixing this stuff, I'm going to want to make sure that I do things by pairs. So I will do this, and I'll do a group, and for each one of these, and that'll help me with automation. That'll help me with everything. Okay, and here we go. Bringing Ziza down, bringing the third down.
We are the sent ones to the whole of creation. Yes, we are the sent ones to every nation.
Do you have anything for this harmony, for this section, Avi, or do you want to move on to?
Send one.
Okay, we're going to do another one. Here we go.
Send one.
And rolling.
We are the sent ones to the whole of creation. Yes, we are the sent ones to every nation.
Second.
We are the sent ones
Sent
Second one was good?
No, second, not.
Second bad, okay.
We are the sent ones,
Sent ones.
to the whole of creation. Yes, we are the sent ones,
Sent ones.
Okay, I'm good with both of those. If you're good with both of those, Abby?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing again. I should have asked if there were more harmonies. Any other harmonies, Abby?
No.
You notice that how full they already sound, and then you add that little more, and we're good to go. Right as rain, right and tight is much better than wrong and strong. In this case, I'm going to drag this guy on over and copy and paste. And with that, I now have it. I'm going to make sure that it's in play. Take this out of recording. And let's see what we've got here. These guys are now here. And this should be far right. This should be brought down a little bit. And I already have some auxes that I'm changing these auxes and these delays just for the purpose of.
we are the sent ones, to the whole of creation. Yes, we are the sent ones, to every nation.
To tell
Sent ones, to the whole.
I'm good with the rough sketch of that. So I will then, when I'm mixing these, I will solo it. And I will do something like this.
sent ones.
And I'll start bringing them to where they're the right place.
Sent ones.
And I'll do this over and over again
Sent ones.
to where they have the right relationship.
Sent ones.
Something like that. And we'll spend a lot of time scrutinizing. Sometimes I will even automate each one of these to get them to fit. In this case, we don't have the time. Do we have anything for whole of create? Do we need that or not? Probably nothing on this section, right, Abby? Listen to the rest of the chorus, my chorus and yours, and see what we think.
We are the sent ones, to the whole of creation. Yes, we are the sent ones, to every nation.
To tell them about Jah. Tell the human race. Tell them about Jesus, His love and His grace.
Okay, Abby, how are you with this right now? With what we're do you have anything you want to add to that harmony wise?
Not right now.
You can do something there or not, but okay, so we'll get into then right now. I'm just going to do a quick little something here and add my favorite vocal delay here. And it's this one. And now that it's in, I'm going to save. I'm going to show you two other tips, and then we're going to get to the questions as quickly as we can. Okay, so what I've just done is while she was listening, I was recording. And I showed you this before. This is an aux. And we have
His love and His grace.
you see that? That guy's just nice. So you can automate it by using any sort of gear you have. I'm going to do the same for mine. So take a listen as I do that, and we'll see what happens with this. Let me find the right track here. And I think I'm right here. Mark Cho, maybe?
Sent ones. We are the sent ones.
Okay, sorry guys, just trying to figure this out. This is always a challenge when you're dealing with a new configuration for everybody here. Okay, got it.
We are the sent ones, to the whole of creation. Yes, we are the sent ones, to every nation.
To tell them about.
So that's one way to do it, right? So
Sent ones to the whole of creation. Yes, we are the sent ones to every nation. To tell them of.
So you have a little bit of me, but it's not too much interfering. Another thing that I could do is I could duplicate this, and I could take this guy, or these takes right here, and then offset them in time so that they're, and then I could cut them and crossfade them and pan them and add an AM effect. And in doing so, it will get the same concept, but a little more control. And so I do that often. So I'll do that really quick with Abby's just so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about, okay? So I'm going to take her automation off at the end, right? Here we go. See if I can do this quick. And we basically have her. And I know this is the section I want to duplicate. So I'm going to duplicate the whole thing. I'm going to Apple A. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to paste this right here. So in this case, I can then decide exactly where she hits on time. And I'm going to add an AM effect for her. I'm going to call this AM. And I'm going to do this right here and go up to here. I'm going to do AM, which is one of my presets already. Going to turn it down. AM is always loud. And in this case, I can really then tweak it and make it resonate. So I do this a lot, especially listen to Moment to Pray. You'll hear that. Another cool thing you can do is go in and, what was the one we did? The vocal, it's not vocal finalizer, I think it was. So I could really mess with that. And I could do one of these. You hear how long that is? It's pretty dope. So if I did that, and then I went into this, and I would less AM it because it's already pretty AM now, and going down to this maybe, and bring this over a little bit, this kind of a bell here, and then I'm gonna find the sweet spot, and like I said before, I love to fade in. So I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try doing one of these. I'm going to get rid of the S because it's a little whistly for me. And now I'm going to see what this sounds like if I turn it up a little bit. Now that's pretty dope already, but I want to just mess with it even more. I'm going to duplicate that track one more time. It's going to now have the same exact effects, but this case, I'm going to move this one over one more time. And with this second one, I'm going to change the EQ, so it's going to be more AM-ish, even more. And so it's going to change the EQ, it's going to change everything, and I'm going to make them hard panned, or pretty hard panned for each. And here we go. Let's hear what we sound like now.
His love and his grace.
Obviously, the high one is way loud right now, but I think you get the idea of how we can just add so much space and so much dynamic. Let's hear that soloed, and then we'll be done for this and into questions. You can hear that on Moment to Pray. And you know what you can do? You can also reverse that. You can. What was that?
Did you make her smile?
Oh, I haven't made her smile. No, that's another trick. Remind me when we get into the production class, which is what, Thursday?
think so.
Thursday on how to show you how to make you smile. Oh, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Anyways, so another thing you can do is, I'll get into it for the production class, but how to do pre-delay.
That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Pre-delay. Put that down. Pre-delay pre-delay and smile. Put that down on as questions to ask me. And we're into the questions right here, right now. I'm going to change the screen share if I can. Somewhere around here is, there we go. Stop share. And into the questions. Guys, I've thoroughly enjoyed this. Tell me, what are your questions? Who's got one?
The big question that a lot of people have been asking is, what's kind of your signal chain from the mic into your computer, and what are the brands of those things?
Okay, so I went into this in the production class. What is the name of this mic? Justin's going to get into it. I love this mic because it has a bunch of plugins that come with it, and essentially for $700 mic, you can get $100,000 worth of gear.
It's the Slate Digital ML1.
Slate Digital ML1. So essentially, it's a flat mic. It records flat. It already sounds good. And then you can audition a Neumann. You can audition the mic that the Beatles recorded on, or this or that. Mics that could cost you $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. So you can audition those and preamps. So that is crucial. So I'm going through the Motu 828, just a normal mic input. A lot of times I would go through a compressor, outboard compressor, and I will again once we get it set up again. In that case, it was the, I forgot. What's the name of that silver one? Abby, can you see the name of the silver one? Yeah, so PreSonus. And then just going in, I do almost everything through software. Okay, so I'm going to share really quick, share screen. Eureka PreSonus is what it is. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to pull up this. So for my chain, in this case, I'm going to do, know your shortcuts, know your codes, guys, okay? You got to know these codes, and you got to know them well, because when you know them, you'll know how to do things 10 times quicker. So just go up to the top here and figure out, like, if it's save or bounce to disk. If in this case it's Control J or whatever. So I know them by my fingers, not necessarily anything else. So here's my chain for my voice, or for Avian's voice. No, I'll do my voice because I touched it up a little bit here. Okay, so I have, no, that's not it. Sorry, guys, still trying. There it is. Okay, so I have the Waves Tune. This is Waves Tune real time into Waves Tune, which is the one where you can really draw it. I have a dynamics compressor, and I try not to let it get past a certain range. I'll give you an example of that. So I'm going to play the track.
Once and once to the whole of creation. Yet.
Sorry, it's so distorted because everything's so loud. Let me turn things down. I like the music loud when I'm singing so I can hear the track, but in this case, yeah, it's too loud for everything. So here we go. And playing.
And once to the whole of creation.
So I don't want it to be in red all the time. I like to just get rid of the top, basically. And then we have a shelf filter getting off that bottom, have a de-esser, have a delay. And I've showed you this before. This is it without the delay.
Sent once
with the delay.
To the whole of creation.
So it's a few milliseconds on one. It's 7 on one and 14 on the other. So it just creates this. I just like it. It gives you presence. And then I have a reverb, simple basic reverb, and then another EQ. And this is where you want to cut narrow. So think of it like cutting narrow and pushing wide. when you're doing that. We'll get more into that in the next class. And then another de-esser, and then I would do a lot of compressing, and the last thing that I would do is automation, which I showed you guys in the other class, the how to mix a song class, and it's something like this.
We are the sent ones,
where I would then go into this, and right here, in this case, at the bottom, I click on volume, and let me make this super large so you can see. I then automate these things.
We are the sent ones. To the
So
whole
the front is a little
we are the sent ones.
I would do things like this to basically get it to where it sits in the track.
We are the sent ones. We are the sent ones.
Obviously, the whole track is, I mean, the whole vocal is too loud. So the first thing I do is I find the right vocal volume by itself in the track, and then I leave the room and listen to it while playing from the other room, and then I take a break, and then I come back and make sure that it's right. And once I have it right, then and only then do I do the automation.
We are the sent ones.
Because everything is based on that lead vocal. That lead vocal is so crucial.
We are the sent ones.
A little better there, but I won't get into that. Okay, what else do we have? What other questions do we have, guys?
What if you could just more specifically explain the concept of comping?
Okay. A, B, C. Which do you like? Okay, go with A. Okay, choose A. Put it up top. Next line. A, B, C. Which do you like? Okay, B. Now you have to make A meld into B with crossfades and making sure that everything is right. Okay, I want to show you guys something that is going to change your world when it comes to this. Are you ready? Here we go. Am I screen sharing right now or not?
No. Sorry, I stopped it.
Okay, no worries. I have a link that I'm going to share with you guys, and I need each one of you guys to pull this up and to make sure that you use this link because it is crucial. Okay, here we go. So this is essentially, I'm not doing anything new than under the sun. Am I screen sharing now? I'm not screen share. Okay, here we go. Screen share and share. And am I screen sharing now?
Yep.
Okay. This is the link that I need you guys. How do I'm going to post this. No. When you're trying to find things, how do I find the comments in this thing? Oh, gosh, darn it. More. Chat. There it is. Okay. I'm posting this link in there. Okay. If you guys could all copy that and make sure you save that, okay? This link is everything you need to know. It's in the chat now. Do you see it there, guys?
Yep.
Did I share it to everybody or just the panelists? Make sure that I copy it if I didn't. But essentially, comping and editing, step 1. Step 2, tuning. I'm going to make this larger. This is what you do when it comes to recording. This is from Waves. This is the best in the world. Then gain staging, finding just the right gain. Then subtractive EQ. Remember what I said earlier about cutting narrow and pushing wide? That's what this is right here. Narrow, wide. And then additive EQ. So you cut the bad frequencies and you add the good frequencies. Then signal flow, then de-essing, then compression, then more compression, then even more parallel compression, then saturation and distortion. I love using that on my voice. Saturation, then reverb and delay. And then for me, automation, which is this one right here. That's making it really sit in the mix. If you're not doing all of those things, especially things like automation, EQing, compression, you're not going to have, this is what the pros do. And if we're doing this for Jesus, I think we should be pros as well. You guys agree with that? I hope so. I'm going to stop the share. Any other questions before we got to go?
Could you speak on vocal pronunciation?
It is crucial. It's one of the things we have to deal with Avion is when she says these things or things like that. Is she going to be trini and reach the trinis? Is she going to be? Are we on with him?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be in a minute. We're gonna FaceTime with my dad. Praise the Lord. Okay, feel free to jump in there, Abby, and say hi to him. Pronunciation is crucial. You just have to be who you are. Who you are. Be true to who you are. How many layers do I layer a lead? I would do one. If you really need to emphasize it, double it or triple it. It is common for a lot of people to double everything. Delavu does that, and it is and it says how do you mix them? If it's doubled, you can do doubles, just mono. I've done doubled with a little bit of panning, or double with this panning. I've done vocals where when we won Vocal of the Year, there were 2 mics right here, and my wife had to stay very, very steady. If she moved like this, it gave it a stereo effect. What's going on?
Did we do a promo? For
Okay.
Thiago?
I'm gonna keep answering a few more questions. I'm gonna say hi to my dad really quick because he's in the hospital and I haven't seen him in a month and a half. And then I'm gonna answer the rest of your questions. Thanks for your patience. Go for it.
Hey everybody,
Production class, Justin.
thank you so much for your patience today. You guys are amazing. Thank you to the translators, moderators, and everyone involved. But so since this is a vocal class and a production class, everyone's asking about gear. So everyone's asking about the slate microphone that we have and the interface. So one of our producers, Tiago Costa, he asked me to do a quick promo. And if you have any needs with gear, like any kind of gear, especially in-ears. So get this, if you're a worship leader or a worship musician and your church needs in-ears, go hit up Tiago Costa, and he's an authorized dealer of Ultimate Ears, and he's been taking care of us for the last couple of years. And so his email is Tiago@myinears.com. His phone number is 949-306-9016. And Connor, if you could put that in the chat link, that'll be amazing. And Tiago ordered the Slate microphone for us, and like Mark briefly said, the microphone has a plugin where you can use whatever mics you want, and it's like a virtual microphone. So go hit up and reach out to Tiago for any kind of gear, hardware needs. He will take care of it. And here's Mark.
Thank awesome. You. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go down these questions. As for keeping the main thing, lead vocals should be the top priority in all of this. As for harmonies, I typically mix them in such a way like lead, third, fifth, high octave. I go by ear, just like trying to figure out what fits and what. The problem is if you put in vocals too high, background vocals too high, you then have to bring up the lead vocal, and you don't ever want anything you're adding to have you change the foundation or have to raise the foundation. The foundation, as I said before in the other class, in mixing class, bring it down to nothing. Bring it up a little bit. If you don't hear drums and vocals as the primary thing, something's off. Okay. And another question we have, can I submit a song? You can give specific advice on how you can improve vocal recording. I did on it. I believe Avion could help you with that more than I could.
I'll sort that out with Avi.
But here's the thing. Be ready to be hobbled because she is so exacting and perfectionistic. So be ready to don't ever ask for somebody's honest opinion, if you don't want them to be honest. Okay, and David Kim, What are the best vocal plugin VSTs for beginners? I'm looking at the Waves and Nectar plug packs for Ableton. We've been using Maserati a lot. I love Maserati. Let me see. Abby's been using it a whole lot. There's certain plugin packs where they give you different producers stuff. Let me see if I can't pull it up here. Maserati. Okay, yeah. So it's called Maserati VX1. There's a package that Waves is offering right now with MASER, Maserati, and a few other producers. I would probably get that. I like click, choose, move forward. I love that. I'm not the guy who wants to spend a lot of time finding this and finding that. I want to create. I don't want to. I'm the guy who wants to lay the concrete, smooth it out. I don't want to buff it and make it perfect and this and that. I don't have the patience for that. But you need to have patience if you're going to do this right. Okay, Mark Maguire. One time when in the studio back in the day, I didn't notice that the headphones were too loud and picking up through that the microphone, and it was too late to do something. Yeah, I've had it where I have a big knob here. I love the big knob. I use the big knob when I'm mixing. Oh, sorry, my cup is there. I use the big knob when I'm mixing. I A, B, and C my mixes for all the speakers that I have. And sometimes that big knob is on just for like, just up a little bit, ruins the take. It's not good, especially when you're copying and pasting. So if you're putting, see what I'm doing with I have one ear off, but it's not like this. And it's definitely not like that. You want it behind you, and you don't want the volume so loud. That being said, especially when you copy and paste to a section like, we have a song called Why You All Go Look. And in Why You All Go Look, the last verse, or last chorus, should I say, is completely a cappella. And so with that in mind, you don't want to be singing that verse to music. And so I couldn't do that. I had to sing it twice. Okay, you mentioned your favorite vocal delay. Can you show the parameters for it and tell them about it? Gosh, there's so many ones. What is the one that I just forwarded to you, Justin? I just forwarded you a vocal delay saying I need you to get this, please. Could you find that? Because I want to recommend that. My other favorite is called Dub Station 1.5, and there is Dub Station 2, which is stereo, but I like the 1.5. The 1.5 definitely, for me, it has the most chunk, the most. And so let me pull it up just so that you can see here. I'm going to share screen. Let me grab this and put this over here so that I can see these questions still. All right. And I'm going to share screen, and I'll give you an example of the dub station just really quick so that you can hear what I'm doing. Okay. By the way, I hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm really enjoying this. I love to teach, and I really hope that at the end of it all, that you guys use all these things that you're learning. Are you seeing the main screen, guys, or not?
Yeah, they can see it.
Okay, good. All right, cool. Okay, so here is dub station. I'll pull it up. Let me just grab this right here. This is there's so much going on my screen already. You got to clean it up every once in a while, otherwise it just gets too messy, like in a teenager's bedroom. Okay, so in this case, I'll put this one up for 9. And these are the delays that I had. And I showed this in the mixing class, so you can check that out. But these are some of the delays that I end up using. And this is 8, etc., etc. So I have these preset already. So as long as the tempo's right, I'm good to go. So these are some of the delays that I'm using. Okay, so let me just give you an idea on the vocal here. Okay, so this is Avion's vocal at these different kinds of delays. Okay, that's going to get super annoying, super loud, but I want you to hear what I'm dealing with here and figure out exactly what I'm talking about here. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to go with 5 first. This is the one that I like to use lightly in between the spaces, not over. So you can see how with that, if you just echoed that on race, it would be great. This is the one that I use here for the chang, chang, chang for dubs. This is the one I use for drums. This is the one, another one that I use sometimes on drum. I'm not sure if it's 13 or 12. Let's see. No, that's a different one. Sorry. It's this one. This is. So that's a really high. That's like, I call that the Oswald dub. So I prefer this one. And this is Dub Station. And now let's get into what you can do with Dub Station, just so that you, now we'll use the word human race just for, because we can, okay? And we're gonna, you see how I'm kind of automating this already? I'm using an auxes. I love to use auxes because auxes don't paint you in boxes. I just rhymed. Okay, here we go. So in this case, I'm going to create a loop up top, and this loop is going to be super short so that I can really audition it. And now I'm going to have to go there and there. Let's say, okay. So this is going to be a loop. I'm going to save again because anytime you do something like this. So now I'm going to go into this plugin and I'm going to show you the different things that I can do on it. So this is a high cut here. More AM-ish. I don't like that. There's a low cut off. I don't like that. I like it to be more AM. I like it's EQ'd. And then there's this section right here, and I can just basically control the delay, with the speed of it. See, it's too fast now. So right there. That's nice. If I go slower. So what I have it set on right now is sync. Sync means that it will be on time. Now I just have to figure out which timing works best. And then output will determine how loud it is, how long it is. I like that. Regency is how long, sorry. That sounds pretty good. So I'm fine with that, and that's what I like to use. There is another one, and Justin had it for me. What was it, Justin?
It was a whole list.
Whole list. No, there was one thing that I said. Okay. Okay, it's UVI Relayer. E-L-A-Y-E-R, Relayer, UVI Relayer, Precision Creative Delay. And what I like about that one is you can literally, by like little steps, determine how many times you want it to delay, how long, whether it's left or right, whether it's this or whether it's that. That's the next thing I'm going to buy. I continue to invest, and in doing so, not one album sounds like the next. Okay, moving on to stopping share, and let's see what other questions. There's only 4 left here. We're plowing through them. And don't know. Okay, there they are over there. Sorry, guys. And do you fundraise your music equipment? Is it already a part of the fundraising budget? Fantastic question, Mika. It's a part of the budget. We don't spend a lot. Sometimes we use a little bit of royalties for it. It just all depends. We buy a new computer probably every 4 to 5 years. We got one to replace this one and then ended up having to use it for video editing. So this one we've had for some time. It's the old trash can Max. I don't buy the top of the line.
I don't buy the bottom of the line. I buy the middle and the latest. Mac is all that I use. But part of our fundraising is to help cover the costs of gear. A lot of, more than not, it's always gear for touring though. Okay, Angel said, do you put directly your delay and reverb in your voice track? Not sure.
Like, are you recording what the?
I don't record with it on.
Yeah.
I can't hear it when I'm recording. I can only hear it when I'm playing back. I don't like latency, and it typically creates latency. Latency is the devil. Justin just said it's when I'm hearing it right now as I'm talking, and it's driving me crazy. But it's when you say, and then there's like say, it's just a little bit of a slight few millisecond or whatever delay. And then I don't print delay. I get those delays, I write them out, I automate them like I just did in front of you. And then when I bounce down the whole song, that's when and only then will you hear everything. Okay, what level should dry vocal input be at? I always end up too high or too low. A little higher or a little lower, depending on what you're doing. What I do is I use, for me, it's Shift A on Digital Performer, but I see that audio monitor and I like to get it in the middle, and I try and get really loud. And if it's really loud and speaking, I want to get rid of it. Do you do vocal exercises every day? Also, do you do it even more because you're not on the road now? No, I always sing every day. I always write songs every day. I probably should do that. I'd be a better vocalist if I was. I am in the studio a lot. I'm practicing a lot. So there are those types of things. But writing songs, for me, I talked about it in the songwriting section. But essentially what I do is I have an idea, and then I go to the beach. While driving there, I don't listen to music. I'm writing or singing. When I'm in the water, I'm usually by myself. I'm writing, I'm singing, I'm coming back. In the shower, I'm writing, I'm singing. I head up to the studio. I have just enough to where I feel like the song's good enough, and then I let the rest of it write itself when I'm in the studio. So there you have it. That is the how to record a vocal and harmonies and things like that, like CHRISTAFARI. You may love it, you may hate it. I genuinely believe, though, if you apply these principles and make sure you copy from the chat section that link, because that is the beginning and end of everything you need to know. But do so with excellence. Do so as unto the Lord. Everything we do is unto the Lord, and as we're pouring into you, we're hoping that you are an extension of what we're doing. Let me give you an example. My wife bought celery. She cut the bottom of the celery and she stuck it in the ground, and it started growing. Guess what grew out of it? Tomatoes? No. Celery. More celery for free. We pray that as we are pouring into you the very things that we're doing, that you will apply them for Jesus and for Jesus alone, because that's all that matters. And as we continue to be equipping others and getting more equipped to go, we want to encourage you to partner with us. And in doing so, just go to CHRISTAFARI.com/donate. If you could pick the most needed fund, you know what? I've never asked for it in any of these 35 classes or whatever. If you want to donate to Avian and I, that would be greatly appreciated. We've seen a few of our donors not be able to partner with us monthly right now because of the COVID crisis. And so we could really use the help. Just donate. Whoever you donate to, whichever fund you donate to at CHRISTAFARI.com/donate, you'll get an instant copy of Avian Blackman's new album. It is magnificent. We hope you enjoy it. Thanks so much. Grow and go.